Evening all, and welcome to another episode of Straighten Your Crown Tarot. Just checking my microphone's on and it's working. Yes, it is. Right, before I start, I've got some thank yous to give out. Someone sent me this. It was an anonymous person. It was from my Amazon wish list. Natural household cleaning, which it's on my wish list. Someone sent it, but there was no name attached to that. So if you know who you are, thank you very much for that. And we have, this was sent to me quite some time ago from Coyote, and I put it to one side, and I have been meaning to give public thank you for it, and had literally forgotten all about it. So I've picked this up today, remembered that I'd got it. So thank you, Coyote, for that. I have actually been reading that today. Very interesting topic. I'm hoping to bring I Ching to you at some point when I'm confident enough to think that I think I know what I'm doing. This other gift was 2 tarot cases gifted to me by Jane Tipper. I've already got some cards in there. I've got my Rider-Waite tarot cards in there, and I've put my Fairy Oracle deck in there, my Brian Froude's Fairy Oracle deck, which I don't bring out very often because it's a very precious deck to me, but it's also quite flimsy, so I don't want to wear it out. Thank you very much. All the names from all the people who send me gifts go into, well, I've got a little box for them all, and I send good vibes out to you every single week as a thank you for that. Right, this reading, it could have been a number of readings I could have done for the first one of the week, because there's so much to choose from. And actually, I could sit here all day and churn out readings, but I just don't have time with me being working as well. So this reading is going to be about the emergence of the far left in this country, and I'm going to take a little look to see if the far left are likely to have a lot of success with that. Right. So why am I looking at that? Right. Well, we've got Zara Sultana MP has broken away from the Labour Party. She has quite controversially publicly stated that she's starting an independent party, and Jeremy Corbyn is going to be the co-chair. Then Jeremy Corbyn said he didn't know anything about it, and apparently reportedly was quite furious about that. And then yesterday, hey presto, we see them sitting together on the back benches. Today it has been reported that this Jeremy Corbyn's party, whatever they're going to call it, some suggestions have come through right-wing media, Jezbollah, because of their affiliation with the pro-Palestine, pro-Hamas lot. The reports in the press today are that they have an approval rating of 18%, which is huge. It's absolutely huge. So I want to have a look to see if that momentum is going to continue upward. So the cards for today are the Thoth Tarot by Aleister Crowley and the Predictions Oracle deck by Trisha James Oracle. So straight away I'm yawning. And I'm being told, breathe. You need to breathe. You need to learn to breathe. I think that's probably because there is so much going on right now. It's been like it for quite some time now. It's like you hardly get a minute to breathe before even more news comes out. That just as you think you can't get any worse, and then even more news comes out, and it's like, no one's stopping to take a breath. It's like no one's stopping, and I believe that's Parliament as well. No one's actually stopping long enough to take a breath, revise the situation, look over what you've done, what you've said, that kind of thing. It's like we need to take a breath. We need to take stock of everything that's gone on, lay it all out, and be determined to see the bigger picture. So we've got all these breakaway parties now. There are several independent MPs, many of whom are affiliated with the pro-Hamas, pro-Palestine agenda. They didn't get their seat on local issues. They got their seat on their opinions about what's going on between Israel and Palestine. And then you've got the far left Labour people who think that, you know, you can just carry on taxing people until they've got nothing left, and that's okay because they haven't really sat and thought about what you would do if all the millionaires and billionaires, the people who pay over 60% of the tax revenue in this country, what would we do if they all left? And actually they're leaving in droves. They're also good advocates for shutting down free speech. Not their free speech, the sort of speech they don't want to anybody else to say, anything that disagrees. It's very studenty politics. So we've got solution to the problem, and we have moon, no, unclear. So judging from these two, I'm going to put those like that. I think in many respects, this far left amalgamation of individuals all vying to start a new party, which they're well entitled to do, feel that they have a solution to the current problem. The current problem being people have nothing. And then we've got moon, no, unclear. It feels like there's quite a lot of stuff going on in the background. The moon obscures things from vision. The moon hides things. The sun illuminates. So we've got a no. It's unclear. What's unclear? It's unclear. Is it unclear how well they're going to do? I don't actually know. So I'm going to take some tarot cards and see what tarot has to say about the whole thing. I think they are going to be pretty popular amongst the young, particularly those who are educated in university. Obviously, those who have been educated in our school system for any length of time are going to have these ideas about politics, and, you know, left-leaning politics is rife in the universities, it's rife in the hospitals, it's rife in the in all our institutions, and, you know, people's workplaces, particularly those who work in the public sector. It's rife. Too many. So we've got, first of all, we've got the 3 of Cups, and we've got the 5 of 3 and the 5 of Cups. So it feels very much off the bat that this party, or the beginnings, the makings of this party, has all been sort of brought together on an emotional note. It's emotionality rather than rationality here. A lot of this is brought about by the welfare bill and that kind of thing. So we've got this 3 of Cups. So we've got this. Hey, we've got a solution to the problem. Jeremy Corbyn's teamed up with Zara Sultana, plus et al, plus others. Maybe others will deflect to this new independent party at some point. I don't know. is definitely a real rival to Keir Starmer. If 18%, they have an 18% approval rating. I'm taking from the 18%, although I can't be absolutely certain, that the 18% or 18% approval rating from Labour voters or left-leaning voters. Now, I was a Labour voter right up until 2016, but Labour was a completely different baby then, or should I say, it wasn't showing itself to be quite as Marxist as it is. Maybe it was quite Marxist then, and I didn't notice it because they did it quite well. But this party's really not a very good party at all. They're not very good politically. They're not very good intellectually. They're letting everybody down. So we've got this. We've got a solution to a problem. We're going to bring in a new left type of politics with this new party. Hooray, aren't we fantastic? And then we've got disappointment in the middle. So I'm wondering whether this 18% approval rating is just basically because the unions are on board with it, which obviously they are a very strong supporter, proponent of the Labour Party, big donors and all that kind of thing, possibly leading to disappointment to the current Labour Party in office at the moment. But still, with this disappointment and this sorrow together, the Three of Swords, heartbreak, sorrow, you've got, it's almost like, it feels like a non-starter. There's all this good press about, having 18% approval rating, but it feels like it's going to struggle to get off the ground. I think it's got a lot of initial approval. I'm wondering where they've been conducting the polls, because these cards aren't telling a story of, success, really popular. But it's not feeling popular. I think they might be legends in their own minds, but I don't think they actually are legends in the public mind as a whole. And then we've got Fortune, the Wheel of Fortune, which is an ending. Now, the Wheel of Fortune is also a gamble. So I'm wondering here, I'm feeling very much like there's this sort of initial celebration, if you like, but it's quite short-lived. It feels like this is gonna fizzle out. They've taken a gamble, but it doesn't feel like it's going to be quite so far-reaching and popular as people are expecting. But it's also disappointing in a way to the right, because in lots of ways, people talk about people splitting the vote and all that kind of thing. Well, this will also split the vote, and if these actually end up, we're going to have to be really careful here, because if people who are typically on in the centre or lean slightly towards the right just want things done right, we're likely to lose out in the polls, because these people have got allegiances with others. So if ever there was a time to use your vote, it will be whenever you get chance to vote. So then we've got the Ace of Cups. So between this abundance and disappointment, we've got an ending like a non-starter. It's like a firework that fails to ignite, sort of thing. And then we've got disappointment and sorrow. I think there's a lot of it feels like there's going to be quite a few negative knee-jerk reactions to this party, because out of this formation of this party, I don't believe they've got even a name yet, but out of the formation of this party comes a new potential. But it's for politics based on emotion, and this is where we need to draw a line. Politics should not be drawn along the lines of emotion. It should be drawn along the lines of the security of the all, the protection of the all, the will of the many rather than the few. This is all based on emotion. This is quite a dangerous party. And I tell you something else, if they're at 18% and it grows any more than that by another whatever local election, general election, this lot will find other people to go into coalition with. This lot could be in power. And then we've got the Hanged Man. Self-sacrifice. I think this is what it's trying to tell us. It's trying to tell us to watch our step, because if I think the message here is to go out and vote whenever you get the chance to, and to encourage anybody to go out and vote. This is a two-way street. If people who want to see change that's going to affect us all in a positive way, that's going to go down the lines of doing the will of the many rather than the few, then we need to be going out and voting in huge numbers, because this lot will go out and vote in huge numbers. They're backed by the unions. They'll hear it through the work, through the university, through the schools. It's basically indoctrinated into them. This has been a long time in the planning, a long time in the making, and if we're not careful, we will end up with a Jeremy Corbyn government, Jezbollah, and then it's game over. But we also need to look at it in another way, from a different perspective, in other ways, because this new party could be sacrificing the entire Labour Party for 100 years. No shadow of a doubt. If a party like Reform win, or maybe the Tories decide to become Conservative again, I think they've shit the pot full. Actually, to be honest, I think Labour have actually shit the pot full. I don't think this party's going to get too far. I think your bleeding hearts all want the Lib Dems. The Lib Dems may well do a deal with the Greens and this lot in order to get into power. But whichever way it happens, we need to be getting out and voting in numbers. But it does feel like this split in the party is going to lead to some form of downfall. They're not good cards. We've got the Three of Cups and the Ace of Cups. Then we've got the Three of Swords. We've got fate. It's a gamble. There's a potential for this new way forward, new type of politics, but it's driven by emotion. And it feels very much like this is going to be a situation of self-sacrifice. So let's have one more Trisha James prediction card and see if these tarot cards marry up to... You watch, it'll be one that says there's going to be a plane crash or something. Explosive situation. Yeah. It is going to shake things up. It really is going to shake things up. And this is a young person on this card. It reminds me of a student union type rally, where emotions are high, It's based on emotion. This party, the politics of it all, are led by emotion. That's not a good way to do politics. But then we have young people who are very much led by emotion. We've got, it's unclear where it's going. They think it's a solution to a problem, but actually it's really going to put the cat among the pigeons, probably going to split politics on the left and totally obliterate the Labour Party. The Conservative Party obliterated themselves. The Labour Party are imploding. And what remains are those out on the fringes, your independents, your Palestine MPs, your far left MPs, and those that don't wish to see this country progress. They don't wish to see fairness. They want to see things done based on emotion. It's not. There's no moral in any of this either. There's no morals in this. It's all based knee-jerk reaction, emotional politics. Not a good way to go. Because when you lead politics by emotion, that's when you can press a button for a nuclear warhead and start a complete chain reaction. This is where this party can land us. So we have to be careful. Anybody who's like-minded, push them to use the vote. I think there needs to be a massive campaign now to get the people who were complacent last general election to actually go out and vote. We've got a lot of people coming into this country or being brought in purely for their vote. It's no solution to a problem. Right, so that's Jezebel for you. I could think about which I'm going to pick up for tomorrow night, because I could pick one of about 50 different topics. But they, so the likelihood of Jeremy Corbyn, Zara Sultana's new independent party, of going forward, is very likely. However, it would not be good news for the country. So we have to bear that one in mind. Evening all, Louise here with another episode of Straighten Your Crown Tarot. Right, I want to know where my parameters are for this video. Right, yesterday I did a video about the emergence of the new political party between Jeremy Corbyn and Zara Sultana. Now, at the time when I uploaded it, YouTube wouldn't, there was no facility for me to set it as a premiere. So there was no way of doing a live chat. That means YouTube don't send out notifications. So if you've missed that one, please do go to it. It's yesterday's. I can't remember what I've called it, but I know the word Jezebel is in the title. So please do go and watch that if you feel like you've missed it. I don't know what's happening with YouTube right now, but subscribers seem to go up and then they fall below the level that they were before they went up in the first place. I don't know whether that's my readings that are putting people off or whether there's an issue with the algorithm. However, if you want to help me out with the algorithm a bit, a thumbs up, a comment, a subscribe would be nice. You can subscribe by clicking on the crown in the bottom right hand corner. All revenue from this channel goes to Bluebell Woods Children's Hospice. And just before I start this reading, there is a handmade pouch here containing my 15-year-old Rider-Waite tarot. If you are interested in receiving that, being in the draw for that, you need to be subscribed. You need to enter into the comments interested. If you're not subscribed, I'll know you're not subscribed and I won't enter you. So go ahead and do that if you're interested. There's also a bonus gift that goes with that, but I'm not going to tell you what that is. That's just going to be a surprise for the person who receives it. And here we go. So today's cards, we have the Golden Tarot by Cat Black, and we have the predictions deck, the new prediction, well, new to me, predictions deck by Trisha James Oracles. This reading, in the light of the pomp and ceremony of the Emmanuel Macron and his wife / husband, their state visit to the UK over the last couple of days, and this agreement that they've reached about illegal immigration. I want to have a little look to see if Keir will indeed smush the smuggling guns. So let's take an oracle first. A lot of people ask me about what the crystals are. Now I can't remember what this one's called. This was given to me was actually posted to me by a subscriber, along with another one, which is an agate. And I can't remember what this one's called off the top of my head. This one she got from China, so I do actually treasure that one. It's a blue hue, and then in the light it's a yellow hue. It's a milky quartzy type of stone, and this is Unakite. So let's have a look at a predictions card first. Keir Starmer, will he smush the smuggling guns? Is this deal with the French going to go ahead? Now, right off the back, I'm not sure whether there's going to be a stop put to it. I don't know if there's been a stop put to it. I feel like it's a dead end. I don't really know. But let's have a look, see what the cards have to say to us tonight. Is this new devised agreement with France going to make any difference to the UK and the influx of illegal immigrants via the Channel crossing? And let's not forget, we know about the ones coming on the channel, but they're still very prolific in hopping on lorries and hiding in backs of lorries as well. So we're going on about we're going on about the amount of people coming across the channel, but my guess is we've got quite just as many coming via other means. Now let me just check here, because I think another one's gone upside down in this deck. Oh, they're so slippy. I thought I saw another one the wrong way around in the deck. Yes. Oh, that's very interesting, isn't it? Replace or exchange. Oh, Jesus, can't make it up. And duties, keep quiet. Right, this one. How many times have you heard people say that we are being replaced, particularly by birth rates amongst those of the population who are not indigenous to these islands? Their population is exponentially growing, as isn't, and there is a fear that we are being replaced. It's also a talk of an exchange of not prisoners, migrants. So the talk is one in and one out. So if we receive one, we send one to France. However, as I understand it, if you actually dig into the fine print, it's more like we receive 17 and we'll only send one back. the initial idea is to just send 50 a week. Well, if we're getting like upwards of 800 people a day, we're only sending 50 people a week. We're not actually, it's not really going to go anywhere, is it? So replace or exchange. Duties, keep quiet. So, and as this princess, shall we say, is wearing a crown, it feels as though the crown itself are complicit. What am I going on about? Complicit in this this great replacement theory, and they are keeping quiet because it's maybe it's in deference to various organisations to whom they belong, shall we say. Shall we talk about the WEF here? Shall we talk about an allegiance to certain crowned princes in the Middle East here? Shall we talk about dark paths and dark pasts and sinister affiliations? So the crown is keeping quiet. We are being replaced. Maybe we are being exchanged for people of a different culture, background, ethnicity, origin, religion, you name it. So let's have a look at the Golden Tarot. I've not had these out for a while. I'm not sure whether this video is going to get cut as well because there might be a few boobs. Let's have a look. We have the Wheel of Fortune, again, fate. We had this one yesterday in a different deck. A major arcana card, straight out the gate. We have the Three of Cups. We had this one yesterday, straight out the gate. Oh, it's uncanny for me, this. Wheel of Fortune, not in the same order, but we had these two cards yesterday. Wheel of Fortune, Three of Cups. We have strength. So we've got this Wheel of Fortune. It's a 10. 10s talk about endings. Endings signal new beginnings. With this Wheel of Fortune, it signals the turn of another wheel, the beginning of a new cycle, a beginning of a new era. It's fate. It's destiny. It's all those things. And while we've got this quite affluent family here in the foreground. We've got this stable in the background with holes in the roof. So it's basically saying to me, you might be okay now, but at any moment in time, you could be in this position where you're living in less favourable, much poorer conditions. And this is the Wheel of Fortune. You roll the dice, you take your choice. If you roll the dice, you could be dripping in gold. On the other hand, you could also be as poor as a church mouse. So we've got this Wheel of Fortune. We're on the precipice of, this is a massive gamble. So just like a lot of other things that are going on right now, we get in this card a lot, and it feels like what's happening at the moment is like people in power are making decisions by the skin of the teeth. It's not even well planned. It's just a throw. Someone's out there in the background chucking a dice, and wherever these dice land, it will be where we end up, because it's not planned. This immigration deal, if you like, it's not been well thought out. It's not been strategized. It's not been dealt with properly. It's just been thrown out there like you just throw a dice and hope for the best. They've just thrown these ideas out there. But we have it feels like a 50-50 chance. So right now, where we are right now, this is a 50-50 chance. Depending on where the dice land, we could be okay and much better off. And on the other hand, we could end up being far poorer than we are now. And now we're not in a great position, most of us, but there you go. And then we've got this Three of Cups. And the Three of Cups talks about celebration. It's time for celebration. It's also the middle card. And right now there is all this celebration about this deal that's gone through, which it's not really gone through because no one can tell us what the deal is, how many people will be coming, how many people will be leaving, how are they going to be sent back, and all that kind of thing. The Home Office can't tell you anything. Keir Starmer can't tell you anything. All he say, we've done this terrific deal, blah blah blah. We're ever closer ties to the European Union, blah blah blah. This is a celebration. It feels premature. Why does it feel premature? Because we've got this Strength card, another major arcana card. Strength is about it's really the Strength is about battling with egos. If you go really deep into the meaning of the Strength card, this is basically what it talks about. It talks about, you know, being stoic. It talks about battling your inner demons, if you like. It talks about calming the ego mind. This feels rather egoic. So this all, we've got this celebration, we've got this aren't we fantastic, brilliant, but this is a cautionary tale, and it's cautionary because the Wheel of Fortune is a 10. And it's signalling a new spin of the dice, a new spin of the roulette wheel, if you like. And the end result is going to be for the fates. But there's still this egotistical front that's been put on. I don't know. It's a very cautionary tale. I don't know why I'm feeling blank now, but my mind seems to have gone completely blank now. And sometimes when that happens, it usually means that that's the energy of the people who are leading this charge to reduce immigration in cooperation with another country. It feels like drawing a blank. They've literally just thrown the dice and spun the wheel, and they've got the fingers and everything crossed. But their outer image is portrayed as this, we can battle through this, we can get on with this, we can get on top of this. But in actual fact, it's like that old analogy that people talk about when you see a duck swimming on a pond, and they're above the surface, they're so serene, but underneath the surface, the feet are paddling like fuck. And I think this is the situation we've got here. So it doesn't feel great because it feels like there possibly is this is all a bullshit front. Then we've got the Queen of Wands, and all of a sudden I'm hearing Catherine of Aragon. Catherine of Aragon was Henry VIII's first wife. And she was his brother when his brother was king. She was Henry VIII's brother's wife. She was a lot older than Henry VIII, and he married her. And because she didn't have any more children after she had Mary, and didn't bring him an heir, he divorced her. Why does that got anything to do with that? Let me come back to this. She ended up spending the rest of her life in a convent. And Henry blamed himself for her not having any sons because he married his brother's wife. She was a lot older when he married her. So in modern times, we'd know that she probably was too old to have any more kids, really. So where are we going with this? Why's that got something to do with Wheel of Fortune and Three of Cups? Oh, is it barren? This feels like barrenness. Like there's nothing left in the tank. They've just taken a massive gamble and they're celebrating it. In actual fact, what's going to show up is the fact that they are devoid of answers, devoid of a plan, barren of ideas, barren of strategy. Don't normally read the Queen of Wands like that, but hey ho. And then we have, between the Three of Cups and the Strength card, we've got Three of Swords. And we had the Three of Swords yesterday as well. So we have the Three of Swords. So we've got this front of being happy and celebrating and full of themselves, but they're actually barren of ideas, barren of strategy, have no more clue, cannot go, have isolated themselves. There's some isolation going off here, because this is going to lead to heartbreak. And you see, now I'm seeing, this doesn't look like Angela Rayner, and then I'm being reminded of Angela Rayner. Now she's just been dumped by Unite Union today, which strips her of a lot of her power. There's a coup coming. There's a coup coming in this Labour Party. There's a massive coup coming in this Labour Party. It's got something to do with the Jezbollah reading yesterday. The unions are going to team up with the breakaway party, the Zara Sultana, Jeremy Corbyn, but it's all going to end in tears. This whole migrant thing is all going to end in tears because the idea is to exchange, but actually we're being replaced. We've got the royal family keeping quiet because, let's face it, William does own shares in Serco, and Serco run all these migrant hotels. They also run the prisons. Serco do ever such a lot of things. William is a major shareholder. Keeping quiet. It's not fun, this. It's not fun. This is not fun. So what's the potential outcome for this new deal? It feels sticky. It feels not like it's not going to go anywhere. We have the Magician. Right, it's all smoke and mirrors. This magician is showing himself to me today to not be a master manifester. He's showing himself to me as a trickster today. I don't know why, he just is. We've got a lot of major cards here. We have the Wheel of Fortune, we have Strength, we've got the Wheel of Fortune, Strength, we've got the Magician. 3 out of 5. 3 out of 6 cards. So half of them are major cards. This 3 of Cups is the Celebration. We've got this Magician here. This is a trickster energy. So all this coming into new studios and saying, oh well, we're now working out the details. Now we've had an agreement with President Macron. Blah 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 blah. It's smoke and mirrors. It's all smoke and mirrors because we are being replaced. We are being replaced. We are being replaced at a rapid pace of knots. Even with the birth rate, we are being replaced. This migrant deal is not going to. It's not going to happen. It feels like something is being blocked here. I don't know whether the European Union are going to come back and say, no, you can't do this. It feels like something's getting overridden. Something's getting overridden. Is it getting over it? Yeah. Getting overridden. Because we've got this 2 of Pentacles, 2 of Coins. This is juggling to make ends meet. This is trying to make a balanced decision. This is trying to even up the books. It's like it's not going to happen because all they're going to be left with is this evening up the books. There's a question of even scores. If it's 1 in, 1 out, it's still not even because we've already taken a load from France. 1 in, 1 out is estimated to mean 17 in, 1 out. There's an issue with balance of numbers. Someone's trying to pull the wool over Keir Starmer's eyes. Keir Starmer, because he's thick as pig shit, can't see it, or because he's so desperate to bring good news to the people that he's willing to just, have a go on a roulette wheel and let fate decide. But there is this issue with these ideas being barren, with his powers of forethought not being there, with is devoid of all strategy, and because of that, we're going to be had. Basically, we are being had by the European Union. No matter what Starmer does with this latest round of talks, it's going to lead to an uneven balance of migrants coming in. We are going to end up taking a hell of a lot more. I can just see it. We're going to end up taking a hell of a lot more than they take back. It's like when it comes to the crunch, they're not going to take them back. That's what it feels like. Floods, heavy rain. Well, we need some floods and some heavy rain. I mean, I'm thinking even literally with this card, it could be with all the really hot weather that we've had, it could be that we have some really choppy, stormy seas in the English Channel in the next couple of weeks, and we might see some tragedy happen there, which might spur them on to speed up this process. But whatever happens, yeah, it feels like we're going to end up losing a few lives in the English Channel in the next couple of weeks due to people setting off and being caught in stormy weather. I think we're going to see some deaths in the Channel in the next couple of weeks, but it's not going to make any difference because we still end up taking far more than we send back. The UK has taken more migrants per land mass, per capita than France. And I think it's time we had a very strong individual as leader who is willing to advocate for us, However, we don't have that at the moment. We've got this policy of replace and exchange. We've got the head of the UK, the protector of all faiths and all that, complicit with this and keeping quiet. There is going to be some more tragedies in the English Channel. This is an entire gamble. It's not being thought through. The Labour Party are now devoid of all ideas and are now unable to deal with any more strategy to do with this. They're on the last chance saloon. It's not going to work because it's just been ill thought out, ill planned, and it's just a knee-jerk reaction to try and get back in the good books, get back up in the polls. It's not going to happen. They've already lost. It's game over for the Labour Party. This independent split with Zara Sultana and Jeremy Corbyn with an 18% approval rating is already finished the Labour Party, and now Angela Rayner's been kicked out of the Unite Party. Unite's going to go to this far left-leaning party. This Labour Party is done, and nothing they do about immigration now is either A, going to stop the influx of illegal immigration. It's not going to stop it, and B, it's not going to make any difference if it does now, because they've had it, they've shit the pot full. This Labour Party is finished. It's just a matter of time now, waiting for them to recognise that they can't go any further. They are now at checkmate. Right, I'm off, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Ta-ra! Evening all, Louise here with another episode of Straighten Your Crown Tarot. Apologies for the traffic noise in the background. I've got to have all my windows and doors open. It's absolutely melting today, and it was yesterday as well. Awful, awful. No air, no breeze. Whew. I never thought I'd be praying for a thunderstorm, but I'm praying for a thunderstorm today. Anyway, let's have a look at the tarot. And what we're going to look at today? Well, today we're going to have a look at the two men that were arrested for the brutal attack on police officers in Manchester Airport. Now, two different people have asked me for this reading. Now, I believe they are currently on trial. I don't know where we are with that. I don't even know if the trial started. But what I do know is that further footage has come out which explains the sort of timeline of what happened. These boys started some sort of altercation way before the one that was first sort of put in the public domain of this police officer kicking this young man in the head. And then consequent videos came out which showed immediately before that, which someone leaked from the airport. And now further information is coming out tracking these men as they are meeting their mother off a plane. I believe she was coming back from Pakistan, and there was some altercation in one of the restaurants. I believe it was Starbucks. Don't quote me on it. I may be wrong. So there is more footage now coming out about this. Now, these men have been on bail for over a year. They weren't charged, they weren't arrested, charged, and put on remand at all. They were let out on bail. So treated very differently to others, particularly those who were arrested and consequently sent immediately to jail for their part in whatever was happening in Southport. So the cards we've got today are the Oracle is the predictions deck by Trisha James, and the tarot here is the Forest of Enchantment Tarot by Lanela Weatherstone. So these two individuals who have asked me to have a look at these two, this arrest and charge of these two men, to see whether they will actually, whether justice will be done for their part in these attacks. I mean, another video came out which is quite shocking of one of the young police women who'd been punched in the face. I believe her nose was broken. She was absolutely distraught. It's actually quite heartbreaking. I'm not sure what the reporting restrictions are on this. I'm not telling you anything that isn't already out in the public domain, so I believe I'm okay to read on this because it's just a reading, and I must add a caveat here that this is a tarot reading. Tarot readings are deemed to be for entertainment purposes only. I know lots of people tend to take a prediction from tarot as standard, and then when it doesn't come true, they get quite upset about that. So I'm just reading on the energy of this time with these two men, and what the potential outcome is for this court case. So there we go. If you find value in what I do and you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. And you can do that by clicking on the crown icon in the bottom right hand corner, and you can also join memberships. I haven't actually done any lives for a few weeks. I am going to be doing a live reading for members only, where you can ask your own personal questions. We do a lot with the oh god, mine's gone blank, pendulum, and we do a lot of yes no questions and tarot readings and anything that the members want to talk about. So we've got assistance, help, and shadow ruler. So right, so immediately I'm getting that obviously in the background there is some help from some people or person in a high position, and I suppose in a way that's quite obvious because, you know, at this time it was really last year it was really heightened, tensions were heightened. We've got this Manchester airport attack. We've got there've been riots in somewhere near Leeds, and then after that there was the Southport murders and brutal attack of young girls at a dance class, and those are people who've done these brutal attacks, these two Manchester airport attacks and the Southport killings. These people, sort of a lot of information was quietened down very quickly, and so much was made of the people arrested following the Southport riots. So it does feel like there is some assistance for these young men from on high. And I'm feeling that this shadow ruler is possibly the Attorney General and his influence. And by the way, the Attorney General has overridden his, sort of overstepped the mark recently. He's now expecting that MPs, the Labour cabinet, push any directive past him before it's approved, which is an abuse of his power. I don't know how far that's going to go, but that's where we are right now. This Attorney General was also responsible for turning Tommy Robinson's civil offence into a criminal offence, which led him to be committed to prison for 18 months, 2 years, I think it was. I can't remember his sentence, but it was the Attorney General who was responsible for that prison sentence, and that's who I'm feeling is the shadow ruler in this. Right, let's have a look. What's the situation with the Manchester airport attacks? What's the potential for that, please? Let's have a little look. I quite like these cards because they remind me of fairy tales. So they're quite nice. They're quite easy to read. We've got the Nine of Cups in reverse. We have the Two of Pentacles. This is where I have to really get my head switched on, because cups are in this deck. The cups are called visions, and the pentacles are called boons, and what swords are challenges, and wands are spells, I believe. So we've got this Nine of Cups in reverse. So it feels very much like it's there is the decision on this case at this moment in time is very much swinging in the balance. I think people who the powers that be are still trying to weigh up which would be the best course of punishment for these two young men. It feels like it's swinging in the balance. It's a damned if you do and a damned if you don't. Now, if my memory serves me correctly, when these two young men were originally arrested, a whole community came out and were banging on the police station door, demanding them be released. So it feels like this balance, swinging in this balance, this decision on what's going to happen to these two young men. There's a decision being made right now that is probably going to err on the side of caution, but also in order to not spark any unrest. And this is what this feels like. It also feels like this assistance and help and this shadow ruler are these people in the background, this help and this ruler. They are the ones making that decision. It feels like that decision is not being made in the court. I know there is a jury, but it does feel like there's an attempt to sway a decision in a certain way. But we have Starlight here, which is the Star card. Now, the Star card has a few meanings. Often it means healing, but I'm seeing this as a technological thing. This has got something to do with technology. I'm feeling straight away that this is technology, and this decision that's being made about the fate of these two men has got something to do with technology. Possibly it's the video footage that cannot be taken back. It's now in the public domain. So there's a this has been very carefully thought out, how to go about making a decision about these two men, because it feels like it's balancing on a knife edge. If it goes one way and they spend time in jail like they should do, because they have committed a serious offence, and in any other airport in the world they would have been shot dead for what they were doing, but they weren't shot. I'm feeling like there's a tit for tat going off here. If they jail him, then there's got to be some retribution on the part of the police officer, particularly the one that was videoed kicking one of them in the head as he was on the floor. So but what's sticking in the craw right now is this technology, this issue of technology. The video footage is out there. It cannot be taken back now. It can't be unseen. Then we have the Eight of Challenges, which is the Eight of Swords. And we have the Four of Wands, the Four of Spells. So between this, the 9 of Cups is wish fulfilled. It's like your wish is fulfilled. These wishes are not fulfilled because there's a balance to be had here, and the decision makers are trapped. They feel like they are trapped. There feels like a fear of retribution. Now, I'm seeing jury interference here, and targeting. Feels like there might be some targeting of the jury. And then with this 4 of Wands, which is the 1111 card, 4s are about foundations. We've got this something swinging in the balance, something to do with technology. I feel like this is the videos. And then we've got this 4 of spells, like it feels like there's a marriage between the help and the shadow ruler and the community. So it feels like there's going to be some interference with the jury, possibly some intimidation here. And if you know anything about how horrendous the intimidation of juries can be, it feels like this decision this decision swings in the balance, not just by decision makers but by members of the jury, because I do believe there is some interference going on with the juries. It feels like retribution here. So what's the potential? We have the 5 of Cups in reverse. Right, now the 5 of Cups, I'm going to put it in the upright for you. The 5 of Cups in the upright is often, it often tells a story really of some disappointment with a situation, some letdown that's happened, but there's a silver lining in it. If you look at this card, we've got this. I'm thinking of that. Is it Aesop's Fables, the Princess and the Frog, where she's lost her golden ball in the water. But I'm seeing that Aesop's Fable where she kissed the frog and he turned into a handsome prince. She loses something, kisses the frog, and he turns into a handsome prince. But it feels like all is not quite lost with this situation. It feels like something's going to be disappointed. It could be the decision. They could get a lesser sentence than they should get, because there are guidelines on how long people should spend time in prison for their actions. I think they're not going to get a particularly high sentence. I think some of that is some sort of deal being done because of the actions of the police officer. I think the police officer is going to get thrown under the bus for his actions. And I think that's part of a tit for tat. You're going here for that reason, and then as a consequence, we will do that in order for you to not rain down wrath, hellfire and damnation onto these juries. I think there's going to be some jury interference. I think there's going to be some jury intimidation. And then we've got the 2 of Spells, the 2 of Wands. Yeah, there's a deal being made here. They're going to make a deal. This is being very carefully thought through. I think that the jury is going to be swayed very heavily in one direction. I think they're going to do that in order to placate communities. And I also think that there's a deeper, sinister agenda here. There's a deeper agenda here. Now I've just been reminded that Shabana Mahmood is on about eradicating jewellery trials. That can never happen. That could never happen, because people who don't deserve to go to prison are going to go to prison for a very long time. People like Lucy Connolly, you know what I mean? If she'd have pleaded not guilty, she would have possibly, and she could have asked for a trial. She would have probably got away with it, or not got away with it. She didn't really do anything to warrant 31 months in prison, in my opinion. So it does feel like there's some deal making being done in the background. It's got something to do with the Attorney General and a particular community, and it's to try and protect the jury at the same time, giving the impression that the jury have the last say on the matter. But in actual fact, they don't. They're being swayed heavily. Some of them will vote in a particular way because they're being got at. I think there's some jury interference going on here. And then we have AI tech. What did I say? AI tech. See, the thing is, no matter what happens, we can't unsee the video footage. It's out there, it's in the public domain. We can't unsee it. We can't unsee the fact that these two young men started a massive brawl way before the incident that was originally brought to us on screen. They picked on somebody in a Starbucks, I believe it was Starbucks. Then it sort of followed them through the airport. The mother doesn't look like she's innocent in any of this either, but I don't know what was said, or how she swayed their actions. And even if she did sway their actions, I don't know for sure. But this decision is going to come down to the fact that the videos are out there and they cannot be unseen. So there has to be some fine balance. We've got two twos, we've got the two of pentacles and the two of wands. Some fine balance has to be reached, because if it isn't reached, this is going to kick off. And it feels very much like two sides of the argument. So if it goes a particular way, one side of the argument is going to kick off. If it goes another way, the other side of the argument is going to kick off. There has to be some maneuverings going on here, and I think the jury are going to be heavily influenced, either through intimidation or through what they are told to look at when they are going through the evidence. So I just want to know, really. Let's have the pendulum board out. Let's have the pendulum board out and have a look. Want to know? Just bear with, let me settle it. Are these two men going to prison? I don't know if you can see that, but it is going up, and it's actually going, it's not going towards yes, it's definitely going maybe. So I need to ask a different question. So if it's maybe, the decision hasn't been made. Are the jury going to be intimidated? Yes. Yes, they are. So basically, what that's telling me is what I've said from the beginning. This decision hasn't been made yet. It's not been made yet because there is some careful planning going on. The jury is going to be intimidated, but what the crux of the whole thing, the thing that's setting the cat among the pigeons with this entire thing cannot be buried, is the video evidence that's now in the public domain and cannot be unseen. So we just have to watch this space because the members of the jury haven't made their mind up yet. We'll have to see what their verdict is, and then we'll have to see from there whether at some point information comes out about witness jury intimidation, tampering with the evidence. There's something to do with tampering with the evidence. I'm feeling that, but it's all about community cohesion. This decision about what happens to these men that attacked police officers and others in Manchester Airport last year is basically down to, the decision is down to community cohesion. Right, I'm off and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care, everyone. Ta-ra! Evening all, Louise here with another episode of Straighten Your Crown Tarot. Right, where are we? We'll start with this. If you wish to be entered into the draw for this pouch, which contains a very elderly 15-year-old Rider-Waite tarot deck, which I have been reading from for the last 15 years, you need to be subscribed. If you're not subscribed, I will know and I won't enter you. You need to be subscribed and you need to put in the comments that you're interested and I will enter you in the draw. We are around 180 subscribers off 4,000 right now. That goes up and then the next day it goes way, way down again and then it goes way below and then it goes up and down. I'm not sure if YouTube's doing shenanigans. My suspicion is, yeah, they probably are. But if you want to be involved in this draw, stick interested in the comments and be subscribed. You can subscribe by clicking on the crown icon in the bottom right hand corner. And also, if you wish to become a member of my channel, you need to go into my bio, scroll to the bottom, and there's a link there for you to click onto. Memberships are 99 pence a month. I don't do lives every single week, but when I do a live, I try my very best to answer everybody's tarot questions, pendulum board questions, yes, no questions, and anything else members want to be discussing. And I stay on there for as long as I possibly can. Do have health issues, so you do have to be quite patient with me. I will be doing my next live, I believe next Sunday, but I will give members more of a heads up on that closer to the time. What else? Oh yeah, and for newcomers that don't know, revenue from this channel is donated to the Bluebell Wood Children's Hospice in Sheffield, South Yorkshire. You can Google the hospice, it's all authentic, above board, and every time I donate, I do put a little note up in the post section so you can read how much has been donated, and the response email from Bluebell Wood is also posted up there when I get it back from them. Right, this reading is requested by Gary. Now, Gary, if you're watching, I do know that you sent an email to me. I did read the email. I meant to reply. I didn't reply because I've lost the email. I've got some issues with my email, so if any of you have emailed me and not got a response, it's not because I'm being ignorant, it's because I probably either am totally unaware that I had an email. Maybe that's got something to do with the fact that we're in Mercury shadow, about to go into Mercury retrograde. There's going to be a lot of changes. Next couple of weeks, it's going to get hairy. So hang on to your hats, be prepared. Don't make any knee-jerk decisions or change your mind on a whim for anything. Think things through very, very carefully over the next 6 weeks, 8 weeks or so. Right. this reading, like I said, Gary requested. He wanted me to look at a general reading based on what's going off in the Middle East. So here we are. Right, what's going off in the Middle East? We've got stuff going off between Israel and Palestine. We've got something kicking off in Lebanon. We've got Hezbollah going off. We've got stuff happening in Iran. We've got stuff like little whispers of things happening. And we have the Houthis rebels. I don't know they're in Africa, but they're affiliating themselves with ISIS now. There's a lot going on. So I'm just going to do a general read and see what the tarot tells me. I'm not well versed on any of this stuff. I do know that what's happening is pretty hairy. I don't really, well, I've stopped paying attention to a lot of things that are going off because I need to protect my energy. So tarot for the day is The Forest of Enchantment by Lanela Weatherstone. And the oracle is the Predictions Oracle by Trisha James Oracles. Right, we'll have an oracle first. Let's see where we are. Let's stick them back on my charging pod. Right, so what are we looking at? What's the energy of the Middle East? Is there going to be any let up? Is there going to be any I mean, I think there's whispers about Iran getting nuclear capability. There's a lot of worry regarding that because, because of the people who are in charge, who aren't afraid to press a button. But they're also orchestrating a lot of the conflict that's going off between Israel and Palestine. Iran are bankrolling that. We are, as a nation, the UK, I'm not sure who we're sending weapons to, but if past history springs to mind, it'll be both sides for the money, because we've got unscrupulous government. We've got trains or transport. There might be an issue with trains and transport. What about trains or transport? I'm thinking air here, so I'm wondering if there's going to be some air. Tension escalates. Right. I'm wondering whether the affiliated Houthi rebels who are affiliated with Iran are about to attack another didn't they have some massive attack on shipping lanes a couple of years ago? Makes me wonder whether there's going to be another major attack on shipping lanes, on supply networks. Wouldn't surprise me. But the Middle East are the biggest suppliers of oil to us. So we might be looking at our trains and transport, our own transport, becoming more expensive perhaps. I don't know. The price of fuel may be going through the roof. That one's in the wrong upside down, so I'm going to take that one out. It feels what I'm feeling now is that we may well be lucky if there's the supply chains to oil from the Middle East are intercepted now rather than during the winter. But if we've got tension escalating, what is that? What does that mean? We don't have the capability to send armies and navies and air forces around the world. We don't have that many. So what does that mean? So I'm going to first take this first one that was the wrong way around in the deck, because when something like that happens, I always feel like it needs to be taken. We have the 8 of spells. We've got the 8 of wands. This is quick fire messages. a flurry of communication. There's some flapping going on here. This feels like the West are beginning to flap. Interestingly enough, I know the owl isn't normally seen as a messenger. It's normally a pigeon or something like that, a carrier pigeon. But I just thought of Harry Potter, because didn't he have a messenger owl? This is a flurry of information, a flurry of communication. It feels like people flapping. It feels like this. It feels like a retreat, like a get out quick. There might be a lot of people fleeing a particular area. And if they all come to us, you know what's going to happen. Then we've got, what's this, the right one? We've got the Eight of Visions, which is the Eight of Cups in reverse. I'll leave it that way around, but I'll read it as a reversal. We've got this. The Eight of Cups normally talks about walking away from a project or a love interest or something that you're emotionally attached to. Quite saddened. It's a walking away, a reluctant walking away. But it's in reverse. So there is no reluctant walking away from this situation, whatever that means. But there is no walking away from that situation. We've got this flurry of flapping, these people. It feels like people hurriedly getting out of an area. It could even be an escalation in between Israel and Palestine, because I know the Israeli government, the IDF, their armed forces, they do warn civilians to get out of a particular area before they bomb it, because this huge network of tunnels that have been created under people's houses, and you know some of the entrances and exits actually come out into children's bedrooms. So and in those tunnels they keep a lot of explosives and incendiary devices, and in order to actually for the IDF to get in there and target the people in the soldiers in the tunnels and the incendiary devices, they have to get the civilians to move out of that area, because the only way to do that is to actually bomb the whole lot. So I'm feeling there might be some escalation in Israel. And also don't forget, Iran are also bankrolling the operation against Israel. So it feels very much like there's going to be a mass exodus. And then we've got the Two of Spells. So this is the Two of Wands. This is about planning, making deals, possibly trade deals, possibly defense deals, but there's definitely some sort of trade deal going off here as well. So we've got this issue with transport, could be at home and abroad. I'm feeling this is us. We might well take a hit on prices, because I'm feeling there may well be another Houthi rebel issue within like the Suez Canal and places like that. This is where I'm feeling. And we've got this escalation of tension, people fleeing an area. There's some people aren't backing down. Either side ain't backing down. So a lot of these Middle Eastern countries are inextricably linked to the Iranian government, and they will not back down. I'm not saying the Iranian people. I think the Iranian people are really hoping and praying that they get toppled so that they can actually live the life they lived, the normal life, the sort of life that we lived prior to 1979. Anyway, then we get the Six of Challenges, which is the Six of Swords. So there is some, like the Six of Swords traditionally is sort of picking up sticks and leaving. and journeying through a challenging time, and the end goal is to get to calmer seas. So there is an endeavour here for these people fleeing, and there's resistance to backing down, to compromise. There is a notion here that there are a lot of people in the background actually trying to negotiate a very difficult set of negotiations in order to get to homeostasis, if you like. So there is some happy news, but this middle card is stubbornness, not backing down, not compromising. And then we've got the Two of Boons, which is the Two of Pentacles. So there is a juggle, there is a balance to be had here, and it's about money. So this entire conflict is about money. It's always been about money. They've got something we want. When our forces went into Iraq with Saddam Hussein, our government knew that Saddam Hussein was killing his own people from 1975, and they turned a blind eye. They didn't care because we were getting oil. There was deals to be done here, and what was the first thing that the soldiers were instructed to do the minute they landed in Iraq? It was to secure the oil fields. So there's an element of it's not so much about peace, it's about resources. So this is where this stubbornness comes in, because it is all about resources. Both sides of the argument know it's all about resources. We've got some countries have got things that we want, and they don't want to give it up. So there is this difficult negotiation to be had, this balance to be had here, a balance to be sought. But in the end, the no backing down is to do with money. It's all to do with money. I'm feeling where immigration's concerned, we might end up taking a lot more people in the long run, refugees, if you like. But this is a very difficult situation. It's a very tricky negotiation, shall I say that? Because neither side wants to back down, because it's about resources. Right, so what's the potential outcome? Will there be peace in the Middle East? We have the Three of Spells, which is the Three of Wands. So the Three of Wands is basically the plans. We've got the Two of Wands here, which is planning, merchants, planning to do with business, planning a venture, a business venture. And then the Three of Spells, the Three of Wands is all about that planning has now come to fruition, and we will now be waiting for our ships to come in, if you like. Either side of the argument, this deal will be done. There will be a deal done. There will be something done. But we've got this escalating tension. And then at the end of this difficult set of negotiations, I'm not seeing that the UK is going to make much of a contribution to these negotiations. I'm seeing it's more like America and other countries, America, Russia, who are backing Iran. So there is this fine balance to be had. They've got something we want, and they have a set of ideals that we don't want to import. So this is fine balance here. But I do feel that in the long run, there will be some compromise or some deal struck with this situation. So will there be peace in the Middle East? We have the Ace of Boons. So the Ace of Boons, the Ace of Pentacles. So the Ace of Pentacles is the root of all the pentacles. It's the potential. So there is a huge potential here for a new deal to be struck, for and it's a material deal because we're talking about pentacles. So it does actually feel that you see, I'm looking at this toad now, and there's this glowing in the dantian area, which is at the navel, which is where you're sort of centered and sort of quite calm and unafraid and sort of really serene. I feel that there is the massive potential for a very amicable deal to be done in order to calm down the situation. This is, however, just the potential. Right now, this top line here, we've got people fleeing. We've got a flurry of messages, a flurry of activity. We've got this refusal to back down. We've got this attempt to negotiate. We've got people fleeing, leaving a very difficult situation. And there's this balance, striving for some balance to go back to like normality, and then this deal being struck and waiting for ships to come in. The potential is actually really quite good. So I'm wondering whether Iran, who is the big major player in a lot of what's going on in the Middle East, I wonder if they are less affluent than we think they are. I wonder if they are less capable militarily than we think they are, possibly. But there is still this tension in the air, and there's still going to be issues to do with transport. So we've got disaster, wreckage, and future time. Now, I don't understand what that means. Disaster, right, future time. Right, that's where we are with these then. So trains or transport, disaster, wreckage. I wonder if there's going to be an attack. I am now wondering whether there is going to be an attack on a train, on shipping. It does make me wonder whether there is going to be another attack which sparks off this need to escalate negotiations, tension escalating, and then we've got future time. But what's right? So future time. So we do need another one. So tension escalates. We've got this potential for a deal. So are we not going to get an answer? We've got changes coming. Yeah. So there are changes coming in the Middle East. I don't know whether that's going to be that the Iranian people get their country back the way it was prior to 1979. I don't know whether there will be a settlement between Israel and Palestine, an amicable one. It feels like the potential is huge for that to happen. But we've got this thing that's in the middle that's niggling at me, and this is this reluctance to walk away from a fight. And both sides need to be willing to walk away from a fight and compromise. So there we are with the Middle East. It looks, watch out for things happening with transport, watch out for your bills going up, watch out for some disaster on a train somewhere. I'm hoping that doesn't mean that there's going to be another attack in this country on trains and transport. It could possibly be, possibly not, I don't know. But there's some major thing going to happen that's then going to bring all these people round to the table, because they all need their heads knocking together. They all need their heads banging together, and they need to sort it out, because while they're not sorting it out, innocent people are dying. Right, that's your reading. And I'm off, and I shall see you next week. Take care. Ta-ra!